Good evening. So the first recipient that I have the honor of introducing tonight is Leah Shaw, who is an M.F.A. candidate of the class of 2019. So Leah is in the Media Scoring Graduate Program at the Brooklyn College Fierstein School of Cinema. She aspires to compose, perform, teach at the college level, and mentor women and other underrepresented groups in the fields of music and media. Leah is the website editor for the Brooklyn College Listening Project, an interdisciplinary oral history and community interview project. The voices of Brooklyn College students and the people they have spoken with are amplified in podcasts Leah creates from their oral history interviews. Using her talents to help tell the story of others is among the many ways she shares her skills as a composer, as a recording engineer, and as a sound designer at Brooklyn College. In addition, she was a presenter at the launch event for the Listening Project website and a moderator for the televised Listening Project interactive panel event. As a member of the post-production team of student filmmakers, she provides sound design and scores for thesis films. She's a member of the Brooklyn College Composers Collective and was a presenter at the Composers Collective concert. Leah Shaw.
Wow, thank you. This is exciting. Wow, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much to the board and especially to the committee. I had a brief stint in admissions, college admissions, and I know the pain of those essays, and I really appreciate you taking time to do it. It means a lot to have someone come in. For me, I'm in the end of my second year of 3 for my M.F.A., and just to have someone come in and recognize the hard work, sort of not out of nowhere, but it feels like someone has just dropped this benevolent thing. It's a whole network of you that's done it, and it's really nice to see all of your faces now and get to meet you. So thank you so much. It's very overwhelming, actually. So I am in my M.F.A., and I am not originally a New Yorker, but I've lived here for 8 years now. I was born in Minnesota. I grew up half there and half in the South, and you have to come to New York after that weird split. And I speak a lot about my mother. She is one of my big influences, and she worked for 4 years as a legal secretary so that she could pay her way through school, and then went ahead and got a master's in speech-language pathology. And when I was growing up, she was all about literacy and storytelling. Her family's Christian, my dad's family's Jewish. Grew up with a lot of different stories, and it was very. I remember going to church for the first time at age 5, and that's an interesting time for all that to hit. But it drove home from an early age how important it is to not just have one story, but to have lots of stories. And it actually made it hard for me to decide what to do with my life. So I went to college for the bassoon. Does anyone know what that is? It's a big woodwind, because my mom played it, and she thought I could get a scholarship with it, and she was right. And she was smart. So I did that, and then I was burnt out at the end of college on classical music. I thought, I don't see myself in this. And my professor, Dr. Susan Barber, who spent 1 week for 4 years with me all through college, said, well, if you have to work at Walmart to realize what you're truly meant to do, then you need to do that. So I didn't work at Walmart, but I have tried law, legal assistant work. I've tried teaching. I've tried social work. I've worked in admissions for a little bit. And then when I moved back home to prepare to teach abroad, my mom was diagnosed with, I know she was sick. She was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's disease, and I was 21, and she was just started to change, and I started to need to talk about my own story, and so I started to write music, and I started to spend time with her playing music, and she, even after she didn't recognize me, she was still able to sing the music that I wrote for her with me, which was really special. So it's like after that, career, achievements, somewhat important, but certainly puts things in perspective. So I think, I like to think that she's here and kind of would be really happy to know what I'm doing. But when I got to Brooklyn College, or as I'd been in New York for a few years, I've been watching Brooklyn College, and as soon as the Fierstein graduate program was posted, I think I started writing my essay for it. And I've been living in Brooklyn for several years and have just been watching Brooklyn College. And the sense of connectedness that I feel really since I got here, the only other time I've felt like I'm definitely where I'm supposed to be is when I was taking care of my mom for a few years. And I think even an event like this where my +1 actually couldn't come tonight, I don't know anyone here, but I just feel like I know everyone here. So I love Brooklyn College. I'm really excited to be more connected. I do want to say thank you to three faculty members who aren't here. Jessica Siegel in the journalism department gave me the opportunity to work with the Brooklyn College Listening Project, which for anyone whether you're graduating or not, we do have a new website, the Brooklyn College Listening Project.org. It is just like hundreds of stories that students have told, and they've done these long interviews. And then one part of the thing that we do in our program is learn to use software where we can cut the stories up and put them into something that's more presentable, into oral history. So it's such a privilege to work on these stories, and it's a little scary too. Like, you want to get the stories right. You want to do justice to these stories. So that's a lot of the work that I'm doing now, and I'm not close to graduating. I'm graduating next May. So I'll be here, and I'll be working on that. If you have any stories that you want to tell, you can find me through the Listening Project. Miguel Macias teaches radio in the TV and radio department, and he's been really encouraging of me telling my own story, where I come from, everything with my family that I've told you. And then Jonathan Zalbin is the director of the media scoring program, which is what my degree is. And he's just told me, like, look, you're an artist, you're a musician, keep at it, and don't worry about the results, and don't worry about the outcomes. And that was something that, I've worked 8 years, I guess, and then come back to school. You need someone to tell you to just take time to use your own voice, I think, at that point. So a huge thank you to all of you, and for you and everything. Thanks.